Okay, Revelations 10. Oh, I love this stuff. Okay. Because it's so alive to me because these are so many experiences I've had. Revelation 10:1, I still saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven. Saw a mighty angel coming down from heaven, clothed with a cloud. Rainbow was on his head. His face was like the sun. His feet, Charlie, look at this. His feet were pillars of fire. This angel that has feet like pillars of fire has come to me on several occasions. I don't know that it's this angel, but I'm telling you there are angels in heaven that have feet that are like pillars of fire. This might not even be an angel. It might actually be Jesus, the angel of the Lord. So maybe it wasn't an angel that came to me. Maybe it was actually Jesus, but let me tell you the experience. I was in Seattle, Washington, in a public meeting, and as the speaker was speaking, I was sitting in the front row. I'm telling you the truth now. Everything I'm telling you is the truth. I shouldn't have to say I'm telling you the truth. Jesus did that, every once in a while, to kind of re-emphasize what he's saying. You got to make sure I recapture your intention. Really what I'm saying is this is important. Listen up. Okay, so I'm sitting in the front row, and all of a sudden the atmosphere around me starts changing. Like it becomes electric, and I'm like, is there some kind of an angelic being moving around me right now? Have you ever had that sense that something was going, you couldn't see in the invisible realm, but you were sure aware of it, either demonically or angelically? So I'm sitting there trying to listen to the speaker, and all of a sudden I'm aware of like an electrical presence, it was like electricity. And it was like 2-3 feet in front of me, right in front of my chair. And it was like a whirlwind, actually. It was swirling. It was swirling like a whirlwind. And it was very electric. And so I'm sitting there, and I've heard the Lord say, put your hand out. And I'm thinking, God, we're listening to the speaker. And the Lord's speaking to me. Put your hand out. So I put my hand out, and here's what happened. I didn't hear that noise. That's for you. It was like putting my hand into an electrical force field. Every time I stuck my hand out, the atmosphere was like, And then I thought, what is this? And God said, it's a portal. An open heaven. And I was like, okay. And then you know what I saw? A pillar of fire. Just like God brought Israel out with a pillar. I had like a 4 foot, maybe it was 3 foot, this pillar, I don't know all the dimensions, maybe 3-4 foot by 4 foot pillar of fire that went through the church roof. A round pillar of living fire, blue, red, sparks. I mean, it was a pillar of fire, moving fire, went right up through the church roof. I'm looking at Bill Johnson. He's speaking. I'm thinking, I've got a pillar of fire here. God's telling me it's a portal. And it's like the bush that was consumed but did not burn. I thought, can this be happening to me? I'm having a Moses experience in Seattle. There's this pillar of fire here. And the Lord says, put your hand in it. And your first thought is, I'm going to burn my arm off. So I put my hand in it, and it was a real pillar of fire. I said, what do you want me to do, God? He said, get in. I said, now, God, you want me to get in the pillar of fire? I've got a pillar of fire that's appeared in my meeting. You want me to climb in it? 1, nobody else can see the pillar of fire. 2, if I'm going to climb in it, anyone looking at me in the meeting is only going to see me laying around on the floor. They're not going to see the pillar of fire, and I'm going to look like a fool. Bill's speaking. I'm wrestling with God. He said, get in the pillar of fire. So I get into the pillar of fire, and as soon as I get into the pillar of fire, my entire body starts going, and I go up through the church roof in the pillar of fire, and it's transporting me. I'm in the pillar of fire. It's like beam me up. I'm going up through this pillar. I'm through the church roof. And all of a sudden, I land. And when I say land, I mean I crash on an operating table in heaven. This is a prophetic experience, just in case you didn't know. I mean, you were there, Charlie. You probably remember the sounds and the sights. Okay, so I'm gone. I'm in heaven on an operating table. And first thing I'm thinking, I don't watch CSI very often. I just started. It's interesting. And I'm thinking, I'm in like an autopsy room or something. Like, that's the first thought. I thought, I'm on one of those tables. And that was my first thought. I'm in this room. appear 4 angels that look like men. Don't worry, they weren't like glorious living creatures and seraphim. They were just like guys in white coats. But they were angels. They had the appearance of men. On the other side of the operating table, and honestly, they wrenched me down. I don't know what it was that they tied me down with, but all of a sudden my hands and my ankles were fastened to this table. Now, don't tell me. This is a little graphic. I'm thinking they're going to do a surgery on me, and I'm awake. That's my first thought. They're going to do a surgery on me. I'm going to get operated on by these angels. And here's what happens. I'm thinking they're going to pull out a scalpel and go like, and cut me open. So I'm thinking, and all of a sudden I hear this sound like a miter saw. A miter saw. Like one of those things before brain surgery. They cut your skull. They take this thing out, and I'm thinking, I literally thought, and they took this thing and they stuck it right into me, right here on my neck. And didn't hurt. But here's what happened. They went right down to my lowards, and then all of a sudden my stomach went, and everything inside of me popped out onto the table. My heart, my liver, like everything. And I'm lying there, and you want to scream because you think it should hurt, but it doesn't hurt. And you're lying there, and you're like, and all your inside. It was the strangest thing. And here's what happens. The angels start taking these white boxes. They were white boxes, like a little Christmas present, but they were white boxes, and they start, have you ever seen somebody stuff a turkey? And they start stuffing these things inside of me. They stuff in these boxes all over. They stuff it in me. And I heard the verse, I desired truth in the inward parts. I said, God, what's happening here? He said, Todd, this is something that I'm doing in the church today. There's an acceleration. He says, I'm supernaturally imparting the character, the revelation, and the knowledge that I need the church to have so that they can do the work that I need them to do because the laborers are few. He says, I don't have the 30, 40 years to prepare a vessel. Moses, 40 years, 80 years. I don't have, he said, I'm doing something quick. He said, there's going to be people that get saved. I'm going to open them up and supernaturally place inside of them 10 years of knowledge and wisdom and even character because of the fruits of the Spirit. And so these boxes represent character attributes. And I desired truth. And I thought, whoa, that's pretty awesome. So then I come back to the meeting, or not come back, I wake up. I'm in the meeting again. And the Lord says, get off the floor. Get back to your hotel room. Right now. I'm going to visit you in power for 1 hour. I thought, whoa, what's going on? So I said, Charlie, quick, the Lord told me to get back to the hotel room. He's going to visit me in power for 1 hour. You want to come? Grab your son. Randy Clark was with me. I took a couple of his interns. My father was with me, and so one other person. And I said, let's go. And we got back to the hotel, and we went to Charlie's room in the hotel in Seattle. And I looked at my watch. It was 11:45 or 11:45. And we opened the hotel door, looked at the clock, 11:45. We didn't even have to pray. The moment the door closed, the moment I said it was 11:45, instantly, without anybody praying, boom, a holy visitation round fell on the room. And everybody in the room was caught up with me into visions. I mean, all you could hear was, and everyone was shaking, and people were having open visions. Charlie was skiing on the mountain of the Lord. I was screaming out, fire! It's consuming me! Fire! Charlie's son was in a vision. My father was in a vision. All at the same time. It was rad.